Hello, welcome back to the Au Hectorum series. We're so glad to see you here. For those of you watching, shit has gotten really intense, and we're really excited to see how the plot will further to develop. I need to steal more shit because I'm poor. That's my opening. I did it.
He has done it.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Imagine being poor.
Wait,
I
there's
don't
such
have
thing
to
as
imagine.
money? Are you guys like allowed to maintain wealth in small items that have significantly more value than their actual intrinsic worth?
I am
I'm not.
technically allowed to, but I have never actually managed to pull it off.
The rest of the party talking about how they're broken poor. Darius sitting over, staring from his golden throne.
Hey, Lork has an inn. He is dating someone who is rich.
Huge.
I'll have you know that I am 4 minutes away from declaring a religious reason to seize all of your assets.
Okay, so I left because I immediately wanted to go get a sandwich, but I know I didn't just hear BBQ say, dude, imagine being poor to me.
You don't have.
This fucking bum on the side of the street walking up to me at my fucking minimum wage job like Lamau Pori.
Gaming.
Hey man, I'd rather be free spiritually than a wage slave. Am I right?
Look, I'm just saying, Lork has wealth and assets, and
He has many assets. Yes, I agree. He has many assets. I cannot disagree with this. However, I beseech you that Rifter knows people with money and therefore has access to money.
yeah, Lork has
Sure.
access to money too.
It's like 2 minutes away. You know how like the doomsday clock is like 2 minutes away from midnight? Yeah, that's how close hate is to declaring a religious apartheid. I'm just gonna separate everybody from their money and then put them in classes and then tell them what
Good for you,
jobs
I
they
don't
have
have money
to
to
do.
separate.
To be clear, I'm not referring to Darius. I'm referring to the fact that there are people in the world with money and they can be departed from said money.
Easily, in fact.
No, see, Lark, you'll be placed in the group of people who I use as my enforcers and I pay them handsomely so that they
yay.
maintain being my
Listen.
enforcers.
All I'm going to say is it's not moral to kill people only to steal from them, but if we're going to wage war upon the Volstrom territories, there will be nobles that need to die in the process, and if their wealth goes missing, that hurts nobody.
I mean, you know, who's gonna miss a few 500 gold pieces? I mean, really, come on.
These guys spitting straight facts, so.
I'm not
Okay.
saying that in some places it's illegal to have too much money. I'm just saying that it is the root of all evil, and we do slay evil here.
So,
Whoa. We never slay. We don't slay evil. We slay what we think is evil.
Based?
yeah, but I'm right.
Name a
That
more
doesn't
Rifter
sound
thing,
right.
I'll wait.
I mean, that is very much, yeah. I'm in character right now, Lamau.
Mhm.
In Minecraft.
Whoa.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Can somebody refresh my memory? Where did we leave off?
Oh, we are fleeing for our lives.
I mean, I remember
It is
that.
currently the day. It is currently the evening of the speech where you have just set up camp. Like good day's journey away from Korham across the other side of the river.
Yeah, at the crossroads past the river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 30th of late seed, right?
Okay, so we're on the outskirts of Korheim. Gotcha. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Speaking
We're
of,
not
let's go ahead and
fleeing
move
for our
over.
lives. We
Alright,
are
let's go on, you
briskly
Korheims.
walking towards a place where our lives are in a particularly smaller amount of danger. There's no fire and death in between where we started and here that was caused by us, so I don't think we count as fleeing, okay?
The fire and death yet.
I mean, didn't you
Yeah.
guys light Korham on fire like 2 sessions ago? 3 sessions
That
We
was
ago?
did.
before this. That was a preemptive strike against the racists. I think you should all be very thankful to me now.
Listen. That fire may have existed, but there wasn't a riot on top of it, so it doesn't count. It's like Star Wars. Like we may have blown up the Death Star, but we didn't kill the Emperor too.
Can I get an out of character reminder of the name of the town we passed through, where we saw the guy that was in the duel with me and the other guy that Richter hates?
That was Krova.
Krova.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was the.
Wait, where the fight happened, or where the one
no,
person was
no,
recently?
where the guy lived, where we passed through and had dinner with them.
Yeah, that was Krova.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the town where the fight happened was Evil.
Yeah, I know that was evil. Just
Because in this house we slay evil.
I just remember
Oh.
because the festival evolved incorrectly
Hmm.
or evolved poorly.
Is that a Pokemon reference?
I just remember.
Oh, are we talking
Zara
about
strong.
Pokemon now?
Cry.
Shut up, Vampy.
I'm
Zaro
Offended?
strong.
Oh yeah, what are you offended about? That's what I thought.
Okay.
that you haven't
Okay, Ann.
given me my dog yet.
Okay, Ann.
Shall we?
Actually, no, that's not me being offended with
Let's
you.
go.
That's me being
Yeah, let's
offended
go.
with the rest of the party.
It is currently the morning after each member of the party has taken their turns on watch. Who does? There's a gentle fog that's rolled through, coming from the mountains up the river, gently following along its path in this somewhat valley-esque channel that's been dug out through the smooth river flowing down towards the coastline up north. For how erratic and exciting these past few days have been, the tranquility is, if not hopeful, at least a little bit easing to take your mind off things. But in other ways, it's a little bit suspicious. There's a lack of presence as... God damn it. There's a lack of presence and a suspense that comes with the decreased visibility. It is quiet, but it is still.
God,
So,
wasn't a dream, was it?
Unfortunately not, I don't think.
We should really get moving. We don't know how far things have spread in the night that we've rested.
Hey, do you think you can cast those divinations while we're on the road?
it's doable.
Alright then. We should stop in Krova first, make sure that everyone there is okay, and extract whoever doesn't feel safe there anymore.
Aye. And perhaps we can get additional hands to help take turns on the hand wagons, he says as he's pointing over and making a heavy suggestion.
I mean, I'm fine with the hand wagon. You don't have to worry about me.
Alright.
Hank looks at the hand wagon, thinks of all of the solutions she has to the hand wagon, realizes they're all greater problems than Lorik pulling the hand wagon. Doesn't offer solutions.
Alright, regardless. Come on.
Yes.
Pack yourselves up.
Right. And just to be clear, nobody has any objections to stopping at Gerard Martivir before we head back to Au Hectorum, right?
I think it's reasonable.
Alright. Come on, let's move then.
We need to do what we must with all of the people that we can run into along the way.
On the road again.
Donkey.
Hate's going to wait for somebody to take a pee break and then cast Legend Lore.
Who dis? Oh.
It's the bot.
Unfortunate.
There's no such thing as a bot. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just us. Wake up.
Damn it. The mist holds for the first few days of your travel before eventually dissipating.
Holy shit, we went days with no one taking a pee break? That sucks.
Nah,
That's some magic mist.
Piss pants.
mostly it's just that we had like 2 weeks to type that shit up, and now we're waiting until literally after the session start time to finish it up. And so I don't have an answer for you.
You know, that's all fair.
So if you want to go and write it up, if we get a chance, I'll write something up. But you still haven't, like, written a message.
Well, the legend lore is just naming the target of the spell, no? Like, that's how you determine the target, is just naming the target, and then the result is based on your knowledge of the target, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh.
So, unless I'm missing something massive, there's not a specific phrasing that has to go with the casting of the legend lore.
I think the only other thing he's waiting for is like if I have specific insights I'd like to add along besides just literally the things you told me.
Okay.
Don't let me lead. I don't know where I'm going as a person.
You think I do?
Finding that path is the meaning of
Pretty
life.
sure that this isn't the right way.
Yeah. Fuck. We're dead.
Wait, are we actually lost right now, guys?
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Hey, it's
I
just
know
been
for sure that
walking
we
on.
have a map somewhere, and if not, we have a rifter. But I know I have a rifter.
I know where it is.
Well, at the moment, you're in the midst of very gently rolling hills and
No,
green
that
pastures.
it's this way.
As you finally make your way back to your point at which you had diverged, having spent about 3 days off having traveled the wrong direction,
The cringe.
God, I can't believe that.
indeed.
It's like the 40th right now, isn't it?
A little bit earlier than that.
Okay. 38th?
I just like having so little vision, considering we've established that we have a map.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Rifter makes some sort of offhanded remark about how, guys, getting lost was just a lie. I didn't expect you to actually get lost.
Imagine thinking that seeing 100-mile diameter is small.
I mean, considering the number of tiles and the fact that we do actually have a map of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, DM, just to make just to double up on this, Rifter is now going to spend his time making a copy of the map.
I see. So as the party progresses down and is a good little distance away from Cosfin, you begin to hear a thumping off in the distance along the road in front of you.
Hells.
Alright, so if you're not human appearing inside, if you are outside, if we've got some sort of way to disguise you outside, she's sort
sure.
of like looking around. I guess I'll take the handwagon then.
Oh, here, if you're taking the wagon. Lork unbuckles his gauntlets and hands them to Darius.
Oh, thank you.
Hate
Well, if you're taking the wagon
rummages in
temporarily.
her. Hate rummages in her pack. Pulls out some rope.
There is a
Anybody want to
consistent
tie me up?
dum 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 dum
Kinky.
dum dum dum.
Just get inside the carriage, or not carriage, inside the caravan, whatever.
The cart.
Cart, that's the word.
Lork is going to attempt to hide himself as best as possible in the depths of the cart.
Hate is going to go in and make a just like casually toss rope on top of Lorik's arms and just sit down.
So who's driving then?
Probably not.
I'd assume it would be Stratoff and or Jake.
Oh, I forgot that Jake was with us.
Oh, yeah, wait, no, Jake. Yeah, he's probably much more responsible.
So Jake Sternhofer knocks, because I assume Rifter is not Vermilion right now.
No, he is not. He is not.
I can be up there since I'm a actual human, not in disguise.
Wow,
So
then
he
we'll
says.
And we'll have Jake on the back end.
Y'all, this is a long con. Hate's absolutely just a human female and just has been lying to you the whole time.
You just put teeth extenders on.
Nice.
It's a really fancy tanning oil.
So do you continue forward?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm asking Shinov since he's the one driving.
Yes.
I'm on a handcart. I don't have to.
Darius leaves us.
Darius leaves. As you continue forward, you begin to see a great many red and white dots off on the distance, traveling along the road, taking up almost its entirety of its width.
Lork's gonna kind of whisper up to Hate. What do you see out in the distance?
Wait, what do I see out in the distance? Just
Is
beside
it Hate hiding?
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
in there. I figured all I have is the same vision as him, but maybe slightly better dark vision. I don't know.
I think you do actually have better dark vision than me, so... Anyway, I guess he's gonna try and convey that message to Sternhofer Jake as best he can.
Am I able to hear him from the front to the back?
I mean, if he yelled, sure. Like, everybody's very far away right now.
Okay. Yeah. Lork's gonna take the risk and ask Sternhoff at a volume that he would be able to hear.
I'm not sure. It just looks like these dots.
What are the colors of the uniforms of the militaries?
You said red and white, right? Our
Yep.
Character. Red and white.
No, I'm saying, what are the colors? I can see them. I'm right next to you. But what are the colors of the uniforms of the armies of either the north or the south?
Can I distinguish them, JC?
The
The
like
colors
shapes
of
off in the
uniforms.
distance are red and white.
Yeah,
I don't think
Darius
that's what
is
he's asking.
What
Right.
Darius is
I'm trying to
asking
get
what the
that.
traditionally what the okay.
Right, I was trying to get to that. I was finding the info because I have it noted down. As I recall, the Imperial Vanguard does wear red.
So that's one of the colors down. Do we know what the white might
Hey,
be? if
Lord,
we
would
assume
you
that's
like
the Vanguard?
to roll a history check? Because I think I only mentioned it to you like twice.
Okay, sure thing. That's good.
Cringe.
But he would have also spent.
Yeah, it's good enough.
A
It's
long time around
important
them.
enough. It's important enough. So
Especially since he has the soldier background.
yeah. And for other reasons that you will see soon, you inquire as to the specific types of red and white, especially as the marching gets closer. And from what you hear, you're confident enough to kind of stick your head out for a moment, and you're able to see as it's a group, like a legion known as like the Red Embers, of which notably is traditionally a triumphus group. That group.
Oh, thank the gods. Here, let me lead the caravan. I should be the one talking with them.
All right. Lead the
Lork's
way,
gonna-
Nominus.
Lork's gonna kind of ask Trunhoff to scooch over.
Sure thing.
As they get closer, and you begin to get closer, Lorik, you hear a somewhat familiar voice. As there's a merge right, and like there's a great deal of shifting in the pattern of footsteps, with that familiar voice being the voice of Executor Jalis.
Oh my god.
As they begin to move past you down the road to Korheim.
We could take him.
Guys, ram them.
No.
Pate's whispering at Sloric. Yeah, it'd probably take like a couple of minutes, but we'd take him. We'd win. Absolutely.
True.
Cope.
Kind of move out of your way as they're going.
Greetings, Executor.
He gives you a nod and moves his hands a little bit, establishing a message link with you while you are passing by. He gives a very quick question of, you got any extra information on it? We know of the... Sorry. We know that the hold is currently under siege and that riots have broken out. Do you have anything else?
We believe that they may have been involved with the conspiracy involving the Scion. We don't know what else they may have, but I don't think it would be hasty to assume they may have other Scions. Lork is also going to bring up that several of the non-humans in the city were able to evacuate, although he's lost track of a few of them in the hurry.
Understood. And him and his group of about like 300 or so people continues moving onwards.
I am
As
the
the-
Executor.
As do you guys, I assume.
Yeah, the party keeps moving. And
Hey,
Lork is
hey,
going
there's
to-
still a vote. So guys, we could take him.
No, they are helping us right now. Yeah, as links out to be broken, Lork offers Executor Dallas a I am Yajir, Executor. Good luck.
He accepts it.
And as soon as the party ends up getting to another stopping point, he's gonna try to relay the topic of the conversation to the rest of the party.
Sounds good. As it slowly breaks formation behind you, splitting back into its full-length column. Eventually, the thunder of footsteps in march makes its way greatly into the distance until it is one not heard at all. The field is yours.
So, Executor Jalis is heading there and wanted to know what other information we may have had. I informed him that we didn't know the full extent of what the Volstroms had, but that there may be other weapons like the Scion there. Considering that we weren't able to complete our investigation, I figure it's better to be overly cautious than undercautious.
Suppose so. I assume you're relegating the information. Wait. If I might ask, how much do you plan on telling them in Jared Montague?
Well, for one, I don't intend to tell them about him. I don't.
How long
think
do you
that would
think
go
we
well
can
for
get
us.
along with this happening, with only us knowing who is sowing such chaos?
Hopefully long enough that we can gather conclusive evidence that he's the one behind this. And who knows, we may be able to make some allies with that information. For one, I doubt that Executor Perilyn would care to be party to such treachery at all.
Indeed, he might not, but still, it feels off knowing that the side that I assume, plan to assist holds one of, I would say, our greatest enemies as its Nai leader.
But we can only assume he's playing both sides here. We have to remember he wants chaos.
He does. And I'm assuming that that means that this war will not be decisive.
Gonna be honest, I think that was a bit of a lie. I think maybe that's more of an excuse, more of a distraction to deceive us, make us not think of his true goals.
Maybe.
Either way, he's clearly involved in the Volstrom territories. He's clearly involved with Chibalo. I've been thinking, when we get back to Au Hectorum, what would you all say to taking the elevator back to Chibalo and attempting to see what we can learn there?
Not a bad idea.
It could be potential, but there could be potential there. However, we don't necessarily know how warm our welcome will be in Chibalo.
Well, certainly
Suppose it's
warmer
worth
than
a
our
try.
welcome. Aye. Thank you, Sternhoff. But in either case, certainly warmer than our welcome in Korheim at this point. Let's keep moving.
Hmm.
Let's hope that Executor Jalis doesn't suffer too many losses here.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hope they win.
It's a risk that they're gonna need to make. Cosfin.
Stop there to get supplies?
And to warn people and whatnot.
True, yes.
People become warned and supplies are stocked.
Alright, continue.
Gods.
Many of the population has already fled, however some, mostly humans, remain, but nonetheless, you see the importance of some of it, and a few more make their way.
After that initial meeting with the Triumphalist Orc resumes his position pulling the hand cart, by the way.
And he gives back gauntlets. Yeah, I don't think we can, in our right mind, ignore Cosfin with how many of Aquila's,
Yeah.
quote unquote family is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 50th has now passed.
Oh god, we're in High Sun now.
We're in High Sun again.
What day is it now? Is it almost the 7th?
Well, a little less than that, probably like 4th, maybe 3rd.
Okay.
You normally move about like 2 a day,
Okay.
on road at least.
Enter Krova.
What territory is Krova in, technically? Let me check.
Just right on the edge.
Oh, Krova's in the Sojo territory, okay.
Technically.
Yeah. So, the party enters Krova. ugh. How do we want to get everyone's attention?
We could just shout.
We should, I mean, we don't necessarily know what the status is yet. We should speak with the ones that we do know first. And from there, judge the situation and determine. Can I get an out of character reminder of the name of the person? You know who I'm talking about?
The big man,
Yes.
Fenric.
Thank you, Fenric.
And you would also remember that this is a town that is literally a population of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Tis small.
So we're taking over. Understood.
Gonna
I
look
mean,
around.
Yeah,
there are now
we got
more
six.
AH members in this town than not.
What do you mean we have taken over?
Mhm.
Slork will consume. Slork will devour this entire town.
Jesus.
Ah, there he is.
Man, those windows with all the multiple angles that you guys are at makes the outlines and the shadows there kind of trippy.
Fenric! Jerry sort of shouts out.
He looks up for a moment. And he sets down some of the tools he was using, moves over and climbs over a fence and approaches you open arms. Good to have you back so soon.
Ah, it's good to be back, but the so soon is something we need to tell you about. The Volstrom territories. They're seceding.
The Volstroms have declared war on the Empire, and we worry that Krova might be caught in the middle of it, being so close to the border.
Do you have a map?
We've got a couple, I think. Nox here was copying one.
Represent the map.
He looks at it and you kind of explain the situation. He says, yeah, that does seem like a problem.
The biggest problem is that they're not just seceding, they're planning on actively invading, taking this general area so that they can push forward into the Savage Kingdoms.
Give me a moment. And he moves around and begins gathering people up so that everybody can be there to talk about it. Hello again.
Hello again.
Well met.
How's everyone doing?
Well, they're doing a lot better than they're about to be.
I wanted to know if we were ruining their day or if we were just, contributing to a bit more knowledge.
I think people could be having the worst day of their lives, and this would make it even worse.
Agreed.
I'm putting that in it.
So, the Volstroms intend to attack the rest of the Empire to then proceed to march on the Savage Kingdoms. And we fear that Krova is right in the middle of their warpath. We were hoping to offer you sanctuary in the town of Au Hectorum. It's somewhat fortified, and
Importantly, there's a lot of open space, as Au Hectorum is not fully developed as a major city yet. I think it will be eventually. So there should be enough space for you to set up additional fields if you want to
very
continue
excited.
your current ways of life.
They begin talking amongst each other and talking a bit about like chances of different things, namely in return, and eventually then the one on the right ends up asking, obviously it's serious, but like how serious is, and he kind of wiggles his hands out. this serious.
Let's just say that it might not be as serious for you, but for those in this town that aren't human, their lives could be at stake.
People were literally being murdered in the streets.
Because they didn't look the same. If that's what's happening,
His eyebrows
right
get
in the
kind of... He kind of stretches out his eyebrows and kind of exasperated, but without the sigh.
if that's what they're doing in the streets of their own city, what do you think they're going to do when they have militaries march here?
Cage, the man with the fantastic hat, ends up moving over and talking to the other people, suggesting that he stays behind and helps, like, protect some of the stuff while the rest of them move on, to which Fenric and Inferith pretty quickly are like, that's stupid, you're stupid, come with us. And eventually they relent and they would be following with you guys.
If you have a cart or anything of the sort, we can conjure a steed to help pull it to make travel more expedient.
Fenric says he doesn't before Inferith kind of pulls on his arm for a moment, and before looking back at you and says, do we have a bit of time? Sorry, do we
How much
have
time do you
a
need?
bit of time? Just like an hour?
Hi, we shouldn't expect the armies to mobilize for a little bit. It was a very rapid change. We
Change of
should
command and all that.
we should have more than enough time for you to do what you need to do.
Every
Especially with
word
trying
in
to force down
Darius's
Korheim.
every word in Darius's sentence has made Hate get a little bit more and more antsy, and she immediately starts pacing around to put on to be a watch. This man put all the jinx out in the air.
He's that's why he was speaking so like raggedly and sort of like thinking like I know that we've got time.
The two of them move out and begin gathering up some planks as well as some nails that she had previously created and begin putting together a cart.
Here, let me help somehow if I can.
She kind of lets go one of the planks and kind of shoves it over to you while she like kind of slides underneath what's starting to take the shape of a cart.
Rifter will
going to move over to
join
another
Hate, by the way.
Yeah,
Darius is going to move over to another person and offer his assistance in moving supplies out of potential storage areas or off of the roof. Cough, cough.
Ooh. If there's two of us, you can take one of the entry roads, and I can take the other, and just be on both sides watching. And we get the good sight lines as Darius has clearly jinxed us.
No.
Darius, I'm going to need you to conjure a different beast of burden. One a bit stronger than what we currently have. Do you think you can manage that?
I mean, considering my trouble is with output, I believe I'm more than capable of doing that. Yes.
Fenric ends up moving past you, Hate, and starts yanking out planks from the fencing that leads to the crop fields.
Lork is going to start casting Find Greater Seed to get a suitable pack animal to pull this cart on its own.
Darius is going to wait for Lork to be done so he can see what he makes and then try and make the same thing.
He's making Griffin.
Yep, but he's going to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Just because you're still getting used to it, would you mind rolling me a d10 real quick, Darius?
Sure.
Alright.
Exactly average.
It, like,
Perfectly
for the
balanced.
first little bit, it feels like it's deviating towards a horse, and you end up, like, properly kind of molding and changing it into as desired.
Poggers. What is the strength score of a griffin?
Yes.
At this point, almost the entirety of the east side of the fencing is gone, but there is a makeshift cart along with a set of decent wheels that is beginning to be loaded up with some of the more important supplies.
Apparently, the warhorse and the griffin have the same strength, but the griffin has 3 higher con and dex.
Mm-hmm.
So more endurance, which makes sense for pulling a cart by itself.
Anything else you would like to do here?
I think if everybody is prepped to go, we make our little caravan out.
Oh,
Oh,
the
Oh,
army
hey,
wouldn't be
hello,
here for a
entire
while, they
Delmarab
said.
army. Funny
Nobody
seeing you
expects the
here.
triumph of Inquisition.
That
Darius
fa-
does sort of nudge. While I do understand we must report to Gerard Montevia, perhaps with people in tow, we might split to get these people settled in Au Hectorum as quickly as possible.
Alright then. I'll go by myself. And I'll meet you all back in Au Hectorum. Maybe I could even enlist the aid of a teleportation circle there.
Well, make haste.
And Lorik once again offers the gauntlets to Darius for the purposes of handcart stuff.
Thank you. And this way also, you can make haste.
Good luck.
Wait, hold on. We only need one of our one of the griffins for the single additional cart, right? You can take
Right.
one to go faster.
We don't have the horses anymore, though.
Oh, right.
All right, everyone. First time rules for being chased out of a place because of your race. The moment we hear other noise on the roads, everybody in a cart.
Every non-human in a cart. We can't fit everybody into the carts.
Every non-human passing person into the carts. Second rule, don't forget who you are. They'll try to make you feel like you are lesser, but you are important in who you are and where you come from.
the party is back on the road.
Lorik is making haste to the north.
So, am I correct to assume that Lorik is on his own steed, or
He does not have the steed because that is with the rest of the party. Although
doesn't
he
it
would
only last 8 hours?
No, it's permanent, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check.
Would you be so kind to press the button?
Yep. I don't have the button, but I can...
I have the button. I can press the button.
Okay.
Please
Thank
press
you.
the button.
Let me sit back down on my computer. I'm pacing.
Duration instantaneous.
I see.
It can communicate with it well within 1 mile of you, but otherwise there's no indication that would disappear.
Yeah, he's just going to instruct it to follow the rest of the party
Alright.
and give it that order until he reunites with it.
Seems reasonable.
And also, potentially, you can resummon it to bring it back to you if we reach Au Hectorum before you.
Oh! Yeah. In that case, he is going to, when he reaches Gerard Martevere, he is going to, use the Fortune of Temperance to contact,
Let's not be too preemptive yet.
yeah, sorry.
So you're still riding with them for now, yes?
Yeah, until we
hit
like, reach the fork in the road. Alright. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully, I'm not away for as long this time as I was the last time I went there.
Oh, it shouldn't be too bad. Plus, you're moving without a carriage, so you can take your own pace.
All right then. Be safe.
I hope you a journey that produces no tails.
Interesting.
That's the strangest trail blessing I've ever heard, but I suppose it makes some sense.
Would you like to give me your quick rundown of what happens as you go over there?
Lork is actually bringing, like, the material from the lab, and, is kind of rehearsing his report of what happened there. Just being like, hey, the Scion appeared to be a weapon of some kind. We neutralized it, destroyed the lab so that they couldn't use it anymore. Discovered that the bodies, were husks made for some currently unknown reason. We're also setting up something of a refugee camp at Au Hectorum for people fleeing from the war. And we're hoping for some additional backup to fortify it in case the war comes there.
Is this to your sensor or to the Vetma?
He would probably try and talk with the first available between Alay and Perlin, because he's mostly been in contact with Perlin regarding this specific mission. But Alay would also be a viable choice.
I see. Perlin is the first, then.
Okay.
Do you then communicate to Alay as well?
Yeah, he's going to basically tell Alay, hey, shit's fucked down in the Volstrom territories. I bet you already know, but we're trying to set up relief in Au Hectorum. And here's what we know about the Scion and the fact that they were probably meant to be a living weapon.
Alright, and how long do you wait to attempt to contact?
Lork is probably going to wait 1 day before contacting to see about how far out they are from Au Hectorum to so that he can summon his steed back to himself.
Alright, the party is where they are on the map when they get the ding-a-ding. I assume Darius?
Probably, yeah.
Darius, you get a ding-a-ding?
We're roughly a day out from Soju.
Alright. When you get back to Au Hectorum, can you send me a message so that I can summon the seed back to myself? I'll be able to make
Ow.
faster time after that.
How am I going to send you the message?
The Mage's Guild.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will do so.
Hey, Lorik.
Yes.
You're the only person needing to be transported, and you're at a Dalmarev stronghold.
Oh, right. Yes. He's going to cancel that request, actually, and ask Perlin to requisition usage of a teleportation circle.
Wow, amazing. He has his resources. Where will you be going?
The Au Hectorum Mages Guild.
Alright. So
going to
now,
one-
what do you tell Darius, now that you're at the Au Hectorum Mages Guild?
Yes, he's going to tell Darius that he talked with executors Perlin and Delay. There's preparations being made to basically turn Au Hectorum into a refugee camp. He's going to warn the people there that there may be a war coming to them, and that there may be non-humans from the Volstrom territory seeking refuge there. And also, he is going to try and work with the Dalmarevs there to increase fortifications.
I see.
Alright.
Seems good to me.
Then I think we continue on the road.
Yep.
Rifter is remarkably calm despite the fact that all this shit is going down and he is a non-human.
Nah, it's not remarkable calmness. It's this isn't our first rodeo.
Fair enough. But yeah, Nox's persona actually is way more like talkative and generally more upbeat than he usually is with with people he has no business talking to. That's all I'd like to add in.
I can see that. Well, mostly R&I, but also partly the
Yeah.
the inspiring leader coder, and both of them fully hear and accept like the propositions you've been providing and begin helping make preparations around town.
Thank you. I want to make sure that this town isn't caught unawares or destroyed in this crossfire. And if I'm being frank and pragmatic, I also don't want the Volstroms to get access to the dungeon.
Now, that bit right there makes Coderine laugh a little bit. But otherwise, they take it with a great seriousness.
Thank you for all your help here. This means a lot.
He kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. Of course.
I'm also sorry that this likely means that there's going to be an even greater Delmar presence here.
We'll survive. Double taps you. Now, you have 2 days. What do you do? Just at home, I assume?
Training and making sure that stuff is right at home, and also trying to oversee the additional fortifications with his subordinates at the checkpoint.
Alright. I would like everyone to boot up town, which has not been accessed since July?
Oh,
Holy shit.
Hold on.
I mean, I always boot it up, but yeah, we haven't really used it.
Last time
Holy
Thade was
shit.
listed as sometime in the 7th month.
There are 7 months.
No,
Oh my god.
real world.
Oh my
Cringe.
god.
Oh, Akla ain't there, that's for sure.
What do you mean Au Hectorum is the real world?
True? Based?
My world.
Hello? Based
Some
department?
of the refugees have begun setting up in some of the open fields outside. Many of the
Holy shit,
merchants
you're right, we do have neighbors. I forgot about that.
are very willing to make exceptions in these trying times.
I assume some of them were bribed with nice eggs.
Indeed. And the party is able to move up, park some of their supplies at the Au Hectorum stronghold.
Man. Question is, what are we going to do with all of our stuff now?
Oh, thanks to gods you're all alright.
Oh. Yeah, of course we're all alright.
I'm a doppelganger that took Hate's form.
It's not like there's anything going on that would make us not alright.
Apologies, these have just been 2 of the longest days of my life. Waiting and worrying.
I know.
And
you don't
also
need to
hate the
worry
fact that you
anymore.
said that makes me just know immediately that you are hate, so I don't have to worry about you.
I'm going to go missing one of these days, and you guys aren't even going to realize it.
Oh, I've already noticed that you've gone missing, don't worry. I just don't care.
I'll accept that.
So, how is everyone doing?
The refugees, I believe, are setting up right now. Have to contact the bank about at least letting them have temporary usage over the land, considering this is a crisis period.
and worst case scenario, we can ask him to contact the Auspicia. I did speak with Executor Perilyn about officially designating this as a refugee haven in the meantime.
I wonder if we can't manage to get a spot in Au Hectorum Square to reset up Vitrion exports.
That shouldn't be too terribly difficult, I hope.
Hopefully, yes. So, what do we do now then?
That is the question.
Have you warned any of the... We just got back. Have you warned any of the people in Au Hectorum about... Gave any information about it? Do we know if our neighbors know, if the town square knows?
I've mostly been talking with the town's leadership in trying to prepare. I got back a few days before you all did, but I just hope it's enough.
Hopefully. We should tell the neighbors. It's hard enough being a single parent.
Do you want me to go with you then, or?
If you'd like to come.
Alright. Orc is going to follow Darius. Oh. Zoom!
Zoom.
Makes his way to the door and does the bonk bonk on the door.
Just a moment. Is there's a bit of a rattling and a clattling? There's a little bit of a sound just behind the door, and then it opens up wide. Ah, good to see you again.
Aye, it is. I wish we came bearing better news. Do you have a moment? I don't... And he sort of, like, looks over her shoulder, wants to spoil anyone's mood.
Yeah. Of course. And then she looks at Gillian, please make sure Kelly doesn't spell it, and then, like, moves past and closes the door.
There's something going on that you should know about. The Volstrom territories have declared war and are seceding from the Empire. This town is about to become a very much larger, quite a bit larger, and as a refugee camp, and I figured that you should know and prepare your children for what's to come.
I've been trying to take something of an organizational role in this to keep it from disturbing too many people's lives, but there's bound to be some disturbance.
She's kind of just looking forward, awestruck, and eventually just slowly kind of makes her way down to sit on a little bit of the slope of the hill that part of her house is built on.
There is one potential bright side to this. Well, I shouldn't say bright side. There's no way to put this bluntly, but if worst comes to worst, and this city does fall to the Volstrom territories, you and your family are entirely safe. You will not be targeted. You will not be persecuted.
I assume it's already at Korheim.
Aye, we were
Or I almost
there
started.
when it happened.
I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. And that's all she says.
Darius nods.
There's some laughter and some rattling of silverware in the other room.
Apologies, we'll stop causing problems for you. We just thought this was something you should know.
No, it
Darius,
is.
Darius puts his hand on Lorik's shoulder and say, I know this is a lot to handle. How about you and your children come over to our house? We can have some dinner. We can help you. It'll help you process, get your mind better adjusted, and you won't have to deal with the children alone for the night while you're still handling the information.
At the moment, she starts crying, but after a good minute or so, she eventually accepts.
Lorik is notably very awkward looking during the crying, but even offers, I would be more than happy to offer whatever assistance I can in these next few days.
And after a couple of seconds, she just stops her crying very almost mechanically. She makes sure to wipe her face back and kind of forces a little bit of smile before thanks, and she begins to make her way back inside with a big sigh. She goes in and she's instantly back in quote unquote happy mood, goofing around with the kids.
We should tell the others we're going to have guests soon.
Aye.
God.
And as they're walking back, Darius sort of like shudders to himself. It should not have been that hard for me to not take advantage of her in that vulnerable state. God.
But you didn't.
Yes, but I hate that it was difficult for me. I just need to get my mind off it. Sorry. You don't need to hear this right now.
In that case, do you mind helping me cook? Going to
Sure.
have a larger crowd than usual. I could use the extra hands.
Why not? I'll do what you ask me to. I will be a puppet at your command.
Strinoff, hate Rifter.
Oh, I had nothing to say while they were gone, but as soon as they return, I have something to say. Oh.
Go for it. It is currently the 14th.
All right. As they get back, Hate looks over and just says with a very final a statement of finality, I am going to raise a militia, and then goes back to just looking at the table.
You would do well to check in with Coder and then. And maybe also run it by Sirac. He would greatly appreciate knowing about this beforehand.
I'll put it through the proper channels.
Thank you.
Hate seems dismissive about this, but you do know that this is probably something she would actually put through the proper channels.
By the by, a few moments after you said that, Rifter snuck up next to you, and he just kind of like looks at you very gleefully, and he says, "We rallied the troops."
Yes.
Oh, finally! Oh, thank God!
Also, we're having guests over for dinner.
What?
Everyone, please keep your best behavior.
After that means go to your room.
Wait, who? What?
Our neighbors.
You get back in your stupid fish form.
He's gonna go ahead and will revert to Nox, and he's just gonna be like, I think this is better for now.
Well, I might generally agree for other people. I think the idea of consistency of who is in the household is a better cover for you.
I go to Vermilion.
Besides, I think the children rather enjoyed being around Vermilion.
Which of the three of you should I have as a member of the militia? Hate's just kind of rubbing her chin as she's looking over at Vermilion.
He looks at you like very expectantly, like a kid who is expecting candy on Halloween.
Militia members need to be strong. They need to be upstanding. And there's not 3 options. The 2 of us are cooking. Have fun.
Rifter just kind of mutters under his breath, "No, just scrub me anyway."
It's not much of a militia if a proper member of political power is involved, so we couldn't have had Lorik. And, well, Darius doesn't seem like a war commander, you know?
He pokes his head out of the kitchen. I'll have you know that I can command troops very effectively.
I'll have you know that my official designation
Immediately as you start to reply to him, he ducks his head back in.
mumbles something to herself about being literally the divinely ordained cleric of war.
Rifter kind of pantomimes like a general, like he tucks in his chin and he just goes, "Ah, yes, a tactical retreat. He's a tactical genius. He can't be stopped."
Vermilion, stop miming Executor Chalice.
I snap my fingers at Lorik because he definitely got it right.
Don't worry.
Lorik didn't even have to look.
In 5 years, after this militia grows into a proper fighting force, takes back the lands that these horrible, horrible ingrates have decided to try to invade, we're going to look back on this day, and it'll be the day where Darius was cooking instead of joining the creation.
Oh, cry about it. I'll be there to give a speech when you need it.
Well, as the 40 figure, shouldn't I be the one giving speeches?
Okay, but who asked?
Nah, I think it should be me.
No, see, you're not giving speeches. You're the one who's there doing the bars and making sure everybody's drinking a lot and happy.
Rifter, I want you to form a sentence out of words you have not heard other people say. Go.
He shrugs.
So how do you plan on writing it and speaking a speech? Do you want me to speak the speech and then you say it in my voice?
He just snaps his fingers at you. He gives you finger guns.
Rifter finger guns.
But he does also solemnly admit, that is a better job for me, isn't it? Duty calls to her proposal.
Don't worry, I'll also let you go assassinate some enemy leaders. We'll make sure to keep that in mind.
Oh, jolly good indeed.
We're sitting here ignoring the most intelligent among us, Strunhoff being our potential tactical leader.
Every good militia has a mage corps.
Do most militias even have enough mages to have a mage corps?
No, that's why the good ones do.
But at that point, I would argue that they are no longer considered militias.
That is a definition based on their allegiances to certain states and where their leadership hails from.
Lorik, watch your finger.
Ah, thank you.
Although you are right, a militia that has reached that point is more of a mercenary company. At least.
My
May
argument
even
was
be a full army.
agreed. My argument was that if a place is large enough to field a militia that large, then it is likely a state of its own. At least a small one, maybe a city-state.
Well, I entirely agree with the flow of your logic. You're totally ruining the fun of it.
Well, I might turn your question on you then. Who asked? Among us.
Touche. Touche.
Watch that, Darius.
What do you mean? Oh,
Is this
all
a
of this experience with blades, and I still almost fucking.
So, are we going to do this as a select group of elites, or are we going to allow this to be open to anyone and we train them all in the way they need to be trained?
Hold
The
on.
common people.
I'm not paying attention. I have to carry something over. I can't listen. I'm sorry. Repeat that.
So, I want, as Richter has just mentioned, I want to empower the common folk, but if we do that, we run the risk of putting people in undue danger once the fighting begins. If we're selective early on, it may just feel as though we are stratifying the people. This is why there's a problem in this initial formation.
Well, I do have a potential solution to this. We could open by recruiting only non-humans. They're the ones that have the existential threat to themselves. But those that are friends with the non-humans will the humans that are friends with non-humans will enlist themselves to potentially aid their friends or family. So what we get is a militia of recruited people that must fight, and additionally volunteers that don't need to but will fight. So you remove the unintended risk and instead place in people who believe that they choose to fight instead of being recruited to fight.
My argument regarding the risk was going to be that if we go through the Warriors Guild, they will be more able to screen potential recruits than we can.
Also, militia doesn't need to only fight. Having a militia to potentially help build things for the warriors, help increase the output of the blacksmith. Labor in general is incredibly useful.
A proper laborers guild, well, for our militia, an offshoot there.
Whoa. Let's chill down with the unionization.
Filthy fucking capitalist.
Rifter also does that in. Well, I think we should just generally pull from every group. Their lives are going to be attacked and potentially ended, regardless of who you are. I mean, even if you're non-human or human, there's no saying that they won't be treated as blood traitors. So I say, let them all in. Let's fight. We've been having this coming for a long time.
I also don't think that we should strive to find the war. We should see how the Triumphalists handle it. Grow in power in the meantime. Investigate. And then, if the war finds us, we strike them down. You're all getting ahead of yourselves here.
No.
Chernoff, you agree, don't you?
Absolutely. We should keep to ourselves unless absolutely necessary.
I don't disagree. Keep our heads low, fight like Grifter, waiting for a weak opening point. But, I'm just saying, we ought to keep the common people rallied.
Aye. And we can do that without making Au Hectorum more than it is. This is a refuge, a haven.
Although, on that note, that is inherently going to make it a bigger target.
I know.
People would feel safe if we at least offered services, even if we weren't going to fully bring them into the militia itself, a little bit of self-defense training, if you will. Teach
Speak with
them the
Kodarin, then.
basics.
We are not suited to train a militia. This is why we have the Warriors Guild. This is why we have the Mages Guild.
I do
Point of
think I know
order.
a way that we can help, though. Jake, how I know we just started on selling weapons.
Oh,
How
Darius,
many
lost your hand.
materials? What? Oh, God. I know we just. Where was I? I know we just started selling weapons. Do we? What's our reserve look like for materials, for shipments and whatnot? How many weapons do we have currently? What are our supply lines where we get them?
He pulls out his ledger, and he's able to identify and relay to you that you have a small selection of simple weapons currently on hand, as they were the most easily fit, which mostly includes just like short swords and long swords,
Mm-hmm.
along with a few daggers. Nothing big and significant beyond that, as it would have been difficult to transport, and basically no raw materials.
So, do you think we could potentially divert some of our current investments into wines or other exports and see if we can't ramp up our imports and exports of weapons and weapon materials?
I'll see what I can do.
I may be able to assist in that. If we
What's
can make...
what, what's the name of the You said there was the person you routed stuff through here?
a mod, right?
Regarding the blacksmith?
Oh,
No.
No,
Stockholm,
there
blacksmith.
was not the merchant, the banker.
Oh, yes, I can show you to him. You can meet him.
You you let him know the directions, and that
Yeah.
shit gets done at a time.
Additionally, I may be able to make this an actually contracted endeavor. If we can successfully form an official militia with the aid of the Warriors Guild, we can contact Executor Perlin through the Mages Guild, create a contract for Vitrion exports so that we can invest more resources into bringing more weapons and other supplies to Au Hectorum to make it better fortified and safer for the people in it.
Are you indirectly getting us involved in war profiteering?
I did already bring it up. And to be fair, it is resources that we need to have here. Why not make some gold off of it?
Hate turns and looks at Rifter and is like, see, this is what happens. You get legitimate authority involved in rallying the people, and they start trying to make money off of it.
Hey, I mean,
My
you're not wrong, but let me put it this way. If he fucks over Philip, I don't care.
Hate,
I'm going.
if we don't take this contract, someone else will, and somebody else will be getting the gold. Do you want gold, or do you want to give it to somebody else?
Hate pauses for a second, and then says, so the contract only comes into play a month from now, correct?
Again, this is a theoretical contract that we have not discussed the details with Parolin yet. But assuming that all this goes well, having official sanction from Dalmarevs for exports means that we're going to have an easier time finding suppliers for materials and suppliers for weapons. I would say at the most, yes, it would be about a month before we start having this fully ramp up. But if things go well and we have maintained consistent communication, I could see this happening in 2 weeks.
All right, so we're just going to assume it's going to be a month, you know, all the dangers of mid-war dealings. Okay, wonderful. I'm perfectly on board. Hate
Oh,
leans
sorry,
back
3
in a
weeks,
chair.
5 day. Sorry, I was thinking of like a 14-day period, but that's 3 weeks in Au Hectorum. There, you said 3 weeks.
I think Hate's concern is mostly with regards to her obligations.
Hey, don't just say that out loud. It makes it seem like I can't take the moral high ground anymore.
8. None of this is you making any money. This is essentially me making money, but being our general funding. This has no relation to your money itself. I was posing you a hypothetical regarding the profiteering on war. Somebody else will profiteer on it. Why not let it be us while we help?
Hate takes that moment to realize that she probably needs to see if there's anything she can go and sacrifice real quick to continue upholding her her end of the bargain. I think she has like a couple of coins that she needs to go shove in some like dead rat's mouth.
Yep.
So, after dinner, we're all going to go to Kodorin. We are going to attempt to also make contact with the Mages Guild. And we are going to lay out the terms of this militia and this contract with everyone present. Does that sound alright?
I think that sounds like a routine plan. Meanwhile, Jake can contact the bank, have that get along, see if we can't figure something out there, and we can reconvene with all terms and all information.
Sternhoff, while the rest of us discuss the details of the militia with Kodorin, would you mind smoothing things over with the Mages Guild?
Sure. Do you want me to go now? I have some things.
No, not yet. Not unless you absolutely want to. Dinner should be relatively soon. And
It can wait then.
Does the party have anything else significant they'd like to do over the course of these few coming, like, period of time? There's the dinner go, like, unless somebody wants to interject and do something, dinner and assemblage of things go executing well.
Yeah, nothing that I could think. Go ahead.
I do kind of want to play out the interactions with like Kodorin and the folks from the Mages Guild, because we haven't done much direct NPC interaction in a while.
I see. Well, as you
If
step
that's
out,
alright.
yeah, as you step out of the house to attempt to make your way down, you see that Kodoran, as well as a group of other people, are currently helping set up some camp just south of your house.
Ah, Kodorin. Just the person that myself and my... Yes.
He says, yelling from through a wall and many feet away.
Yes.
I'm coming with. This is my idea.
Get Rifter straight off, dude. We're all heading out.
Kodorin. Just the man we were hoping to see.
He finishes with a boom. He nails a wooden pin down into the fleshy earth beneath, securing that line of the tent in place. And he looks up.
With regards to making the people of Au Hectorum feel more secure and also potentially aiding in the defense of the town should the war come here, I was hoping to potentially discuss terms with you, and if the people of the Mages Guild can set up communications, Executor Perilyn, to make sure that there are supplies and we actually have a proper militia set up to defend the town and keep the people feeling safe. Is that something that you have time for, discussing these details?
While that's going on, he kind of moves over to this tent and begins holding up a pole in the center that kind of lifts the entire thing up in it, seeing as it is in fact a form of like a yurt or a teepee type structure. And he says, I wouldn't have it any other way.
If you'd like, I can help with some of the construction here to help free up some of your time.
Please. And he kind of gestures you over to the pole
Lork does so.
before he starts digging out an area just beneath it and helps you slam it down in securing it in place. You end up spending most of the evening helping set up a variety of different tents and structures to help care for people.
Darius, hey, can you go check on Chernoff? I'm going to be a while.
Schnod.
While they're
I
doing
had a-
that, Lork is going to basically just give Coder a quick rundown of the plan that they had going to basically get a contract set up so that Darius could bring more goods into the town to help arm the militia and help better fortify the city and make sure that Au Hectorum didn't get starved out if the war came here.
Essentially, he gets the lowdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you for thinking ahead. How did it come to be, anyway?
Philip Volstrom passed the throne on to his daughter, and she declared war on the
Actually,
Empire.
can we run it back on that for just a second?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
I
sorry.
think it would be more interesting just for more people involved. Shinhoff's currently out at the Mages Guild, right?
Yep. And the others are heading there.
Did we have dinner already? Because I said I was going to do it after.
Yeah, we just
We skip past
sped
dinner.
through it a little bit so that we weren't
Okay.
wasting time.
I was just thinking that it would be interesting if, just more interesting if Jake was asking, Rifter and Hate how they feel about it, or, what it was like for them being there.
I think it'd be realistic.
Because he's already probably talked about it with, Darius, so he's asking more so Rifter and Hate.
Well, Vermilion in this circumstance would probably just be looking at Cockeyed, and if he just opens up oh, well, how did it happen? What was it like? Vermilion gives him the same, stupid, stunted gaze, and he just goes, "Me man, very mean, very bad. He no like Vermilion, but you see, he dumb, and so he tried to fight King. King win war."
I hope you're alright. And he kind of rushes over to Hate, who had just finished tearing off some meat from a little bit of the dinner.
It's difficult to... Hate stops for a second to catch your words. It's difficult to treat any of these instances as novel once you've been chased from more than one town. But I will say that the panic in the amount of people that I saw was an extra amount of pain for the night's events.
If you don't, and he kind of composes for a second. How many times, has it happened?
For me personally, you kind of lose count after a while. I traveled a lot more in my adulthood than I did during my childhood. Stuck with the clan until they got wiped out, stuck with my parents until I had to leave. I'd say about then it was a new town every month or so.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
Not all of them were poor. Well, a poor departure. But you always get a sense of when you need to leave before you've overstayed your welcome. Sometimes I push it just to hold on to my personal pride. But I'd rather leave than cause too much of an issue for the people there.
Was Lorik at this time?
Lork is not there. He is helping.
Previously.
Back at dinner. Yes, he made it. Yes.
Okay. He would also be asking Lorik and Shinhoff.
What was he asking? Sorry.
Just what it was like, just being there and just being able to experience it.
It was surreal. Almost like something you would read in a story. But far more real than a story.
Kinda shakes his head a bit. And opens it up with a bit of hesitation, waiting a couple seconds and going with like a... Do you fancy yourself much of a writer?
What was the last word he said?
Writer. Do you fancy
Writer
yourself
or
much of a
writer?
writer? But timidly, of course.
I can't say I've considered it.
Turns to Lort.
I honestly feel like a coward because I wasn't able to help more people escape, but look, I don't want to focus too much on that. We have
Is it
enough.
just me or is Lort way more quiet right now?
Yes.
That's just you.
Am I
Oh.
sounding all right now?
Bit better.
How about now?
About the same as second time.
Okay. Really, I don't want to fixate on that. I could have done so many things better there.
Right, sorry. Yeah, especially not at dinner. I'm sorry. And just kind of
all
looks
right.
down at his food and continues eating.
Alright. We're trying to get away from that here. Just enjoy a nice dinner.
So what all was Schoenhoff attempting to do at the Mage's Guild?
Besides talking to them to get open communications with the Delmirov, I wanted to do some more studying on the tentacle from way back when,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly see if I could do anything else with that sapphire.
Would you mind reminding me on the tentacle?
From the sea monster, right?
Yeah, if you can call it that.
The one that focused on blood?
I think so. I know we had two of
The
them.
one from the underwater temple?
Yeah.
We took two of them. I can't remember what we used the first one for.
I think it was a dire whip upgrade.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But
Go
yeah,
ahead and
I
give
wanna...
me 2 natures. Right. Alright, sick. Alright. Let's go 2 out of 3. Would you like to learn a bit about some of the effects of the creature? Some of the potential like components of the material that it's like made out of, or on some of the ways it interacts with other objects?
Does it interact with other objects?
Okay, so we'll start with that one. Obviously when interacting with water it doesn't do very much, in that like it acts very good as keeping the water away from it. It forms a little bit of a small, almost air bubble that lasts like a good 1/8 of an inch around it when it gets put in water, which upon further inspection you're able to find that there's almost like little, not quite fuzzy, but there's a little bit of a, there's some fibers creating a little bit of distance between it, which, when mixed with other sorts of liquids, it is much less prone to do. In particular, blood, which causes those fibers to completely disappear and instead just immediately get absorbed within that part of the tentacle. Its own blood does not do this, however, but any other blood that's been provided does. It tends to do well against fire, but struggles a little bit against high amounts of energy and force damage. And then one of the other two.
What it's made out of?
It tends to be the very coarse section of it is very much just a flesh with a small layer of bone on the inside that, like, not layer, a small section of bone at its very core that it used a little bit to move around, but the closer to the edge you get, the more exotic some of the materials get, and you end up through some of your experimentation that it actually has trace amounts of like metals and irons forming some of its exterior plates.
I see. And you said that's on the closer it gets to the tip?
Pardon?
You said that's when it gets closer to the tip of the tentacle?
Yeah,
when it
probably.
starts to form?
The shell casing ends up getting more extreme by like ratio the more like to the tip you get, until at the very end of the tip it loses all of its mobility and is just a single spike essentially.
That's all written down.
Okay. Is there anything else the party would like to do?
I think that's it for now for me.
Okay.
Or for us.
I greatly regret not having taken a nap today because I did not get much sleep, but I will be trying to push forward with you guys if you would be willing to give me just a few minutes as a break to attempt to go have something to help wake me up a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
We're not
Time-
just gonna make you suffer through being awake.
Ha, suffering. That's
Listen,
funny.
JC,
Time change
it's
has really bumped my perception of
Yeah.
time.
Fuck daylight savings time. All my homies hate daylight savings time.
Oh, for
Oh,
me, it was just
around
that
me are
I ended
familiar.
up staying up to 2 because I couldn't get to sleep and then waking up at like 6.
Oof.
Gaming.
Gaming.
Okay, well, if he gets to
Careful,
take a nap,
Bert.
I will also take a nap. How long is this?
0
on.
minutes and 0 seconds. Goodbye.
Wait, no. Let me take a nap, Dad.
No. You are strictly forbidden from taking a nap. You know why? You know what you've done!
I would like to remind everyone of the dangers of oversleeping. Everyone knows the dangers of undersleep, but very few understand that you get just as many downsides of sleeping more hours than you're supposed to.
I don't know, sounds kind of gay, TBH.
I'd also like to point out something that I didn't realize, but I now feel very honored because I went through. I was apparently the first quote in quotes, and I'm like, damn, congratulations, me. Also, some of these are really good. I think my favorite one is still you brought lube, Darius as Rifter. Or Rifter as Darius.
Man, it's gonna be really great when the Volstrom's getting murdered by a bunch of townsfolk from Au Hectorum.
Dude, I'm here for it. I want a fucking farmer to just pitchfork the fuck out of Thomas.
Lork's over here like, don't go seeking that. Nah, you don't understand.
We're gonna defend one fight. They're all gonna be bloodied, level up, and they're gonna be great, wonderful soldiers, and we are taking them on a crusade.
Dude, you don't understand. The farmer's stats are bad right now, but he scales in the late game. Level 20, he's insane.
This
We're
isn't
building
Fire
an army
Emblem.
of dolls.
You will literally die in one hit. Evan, you don't understand. This isn't Fire Emblem. He will literally die in one hit.
You just hear like the fucking operatic, like ever so increasingly louder Fire Emblem theme just increase.
We are making an army of Donalds, and no one's going to stop us.
Can I stop this?
No.
Why not?
Skilled Roy can beat Andy Marth.
Skill issue. I've returned lemonade, orange juice, and cup.
Nice. Lemonade orange juice.
So, JC, we've decided that every villager who joins the militia will be renamed Donald, and we are going to bring our army of Donald Tinheads to take over the Volstrom territories.
May I ask on what authority you act to change people's names?
I act on the
Power of God
authority
and anime.
granted to me by literally every war god.
I second this. Also, what's gonna happen is they're gonna walk up, be like, "Welcome to the team, Donald." And she's gonna be like, "My name's Irene," and we're gonna be like, "Nah, welcome to the team, Donald." Funny joke. Funny joke.
I want you to know that in every game I have ever been a player in, at one point I have just renamed an NPC to their face.
It do be like that sometimes.
It started with an NPC who I don't actually remember their actual name of, and I just said, "Alright, cool, Rudolph," and that was their name for the rest of the time we played.
This should be enough to get me through a while. So what's the party's course of action? Actually, wait, is everyone here?
No.
I am here.
Is Shunov here?
Hey.
Shunhov's died of a
That's
heart
All
attack.
Might's theme.
Is Darius here?
Darius has died of blind.
This is tragic, especially since he's not blind.
Why are you blind?
I'm blind.
You are
You
blind.
are blind. Why are you blind?
But you do not see the assassin in the corner. You are blind.
Can you imagine? You just throw acid on someone's eyes, and as they're screaming, you're like, "Why are you blind?"
Oh, God. Jeez. So, courses of action. It has been a few days.
So I assume that we had our little chit chat with Paralyn about setting up a potential contract. And he's
It is currently the 17th of High Sun. Shipments, and you've essentially gotten the response that you will be on a low priority supplies list.
damn. Even though we already have the contractor.
Yes.
Yeah, shit.
Hate is going to set up.
You may be
a
aware that there
proper-
is, in fact, other shit in other places that are
Yeah.
not far away.
Yeah, but they're not the main characters. I'm kidding.
Not this
I'm
time.
kidding.
Little did you know, Season 2 is just playing through the events of Season 1 by different
Oh
people.
fuck! Don't you
Hey.
put that evil on me. I don't want to see our psychopathic actions from another perspective yet.
Oh, it'll be glorious, especially because they're gonna be like, "So we think there's a half elf, half orc with them, but we're not sure."
If you could please go out and kill them, that would be great. And you guys are like, okay, sick. So here's the plan. We harass them multiple times over the course of night and don't let them short rest.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hate
Anyway.
is going to be having reoccurring at high noon and also right after sunset, because you need to have both daytime training and nighttime training. Sermons in the traditional war cleric schools
Neat. Did not know that.
to literally anybody who wants to come. As a part of, you have free admission if you live in Au Hectorum or you've joined the militia.
Lork is power walking away from those sermons as
So,
fast as he can.
Gameplay, gaming.
Yes.
Gamers.
Okay.
Yes.
It is currently the 17th. You have been in town. You have set up your precautions. Your move.
God, it's been over a year at this point.
Yeah, Lorik quiet.
I don't know why I'm so quiet for some
I
reason.
keep turning
I
him
don't-
up. He's at 170 now.
He's not quiet for me.
Yeah,
Phyllis,
he's
you want
fine
JC
for
then?
me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're
Let's
now
try
fine for
this.
me, so I don't know what he's on about.
So,
It's mostly just quieter than he normally is.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time grasping that it's been over a year since all this started.
I mean, time does indeed pass. I don't see what there is trouble to grasp.
It just feels like so much has happened.
Aye, exactly. So much has happened because it's been a year.
Also, I know it's a bit late at this point, considering it was 10 days ago, but... Well, happy birthday, Darius.
Frankly, I forgot. I don't know. It's not something that I particularly care much about.
Oh. True, and I suppose I did foist this day onto you somewhat randomly.
And I technically wasn't born, I was hatched.
I suppose that's a fair distinction. Although,
Yo,
even
is there a
we...
live birth master race in this party? Like what?
Yeah, I guess 3/5 of the party literally hatched from eggs.
Gaming.
I thought that Dragonborn were
Nope.
live births.
Nope.
He literally said
Why are
hatched earlier. Although that was in the text chat.
And I think he has made some other references to hatching, so...
Tisk tisk. None of y'all ruined your mothers by being born.
God, could you imagine being spiky? That would fucking suck.
True.
Anyway.
Yeah. So... What do... What do we want to do at this point, now that the fortifications are set up? We have something of a supply line. We should be making a decent amount of money to use on our needs. Do we think that this town is secure enough for us to head into the dungeon?
I believe that we've done what we could, and that the best thing we can do now is to try and strengthen ourselves, or to figure more out about this whole situation through the dungeon.
So, do we want to head to Chibalo to investigate more, or do we want to see what a new floor has in store?
I might ask, what do you expect us to find in Chibala? What are we looking for from your perspective?
Perhaps more clues on what this conspiracy is. You said they had a library there, didn't you?
In the palace, yes?
Hey, you've wanted to visit a palace, haven't you?
Did you just say, like, did you, like, just shout that across the lawn?
I assume that at this point on the 17th, we're, like, in the house before we decide
Fair
what to
enough.
do.
The word palace was said, Hate's senses tingled, and she immediately showed back up.
Instant transmission.
Wow.
Or as Dragon Ball Abridged like to put it,
Alright, so I'm not saying that a very large percentage of my desire to make this militia was to eventually storm a palace, but
If that day has already come, I'm here.
If we can get in there, we may be able to discover more about what they were actually doing there, and maybe see if they've resumed the project. Try to determine what the purpose behind all of this is. As you said, Rifter, maybe this chaos angle is just an angle to distract us. We need information, and Chibalo is the only other place where we know there could be information.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that we went to Chivalo, the dungeon took us there, and that it happened to be one of the correct locations? Maybe do you think that the dungeon is helping us by bringing us to new floors?
Or maybe it's making things worse.
Perhaps we could find that out today. See where it takes us.
See where it takes us on the new floor. If it doesn't seem productive, then head to Chibalo.
I believe so.
I'll have to send out some word that my sermon today will be cancelled.
Already building a cult, I see.
I am a divinely ordained cleric of war, and we are building a militia. I feel as though I will be stripped of my powers if I do not do something during this time.
So cult.
That sounds somewhat accurate.
Tomato, pomegranate.
Pomegranates. I fucked
That
up
was
that
actually
voice,
a pretty
I'm
good mammon.
He's trying to get the palms.
I'm sorry.
Whoa,
I shouldn't have.
Climbers.
Okay. Let's actually get back on topic. Let's not derail from derail with Mammon for 10
Derail
minutes
for
for nobody
Mammon.
else.
This
Nobody
is the
else knows what's
pledge.
going on with Mammon,
This is
okay?
the pledge.
Okay. Sorry.
D-Ramen.
We sound schizo.
God damn it. Yes, we do.
What do you mean sounds?
I'd like to
Daddy
inform
needs
you
to
all
take your
that
medication.
Kate is
Oh,
the
yes.
most intelligent and least crazy of this entire party.
Regardless, we're not going to get
pretty uncrazy.
Except for
going to
Shernoff.
get anywhere just standing here. We should make our way down
Right.
to the dungeon.
Sure enough, what do you say to this plan? New floor first, see if it seems productive. If not, head to Chibalo.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright.
And Jake, while we're gone, feel free to use the house in any way you wish. The bed beneath me is unoccupied. If you want to stay, I'm assuming this is all you. I don't know why I said if you want to stay. This is the only place you. Regardless, you can use this for good storage. If you want to potentially set up a temporary shop here, you could if you'd like. Just anything to keep you in the routine of what you want to do.
Oh, you can also have those beds. Hate points to Decius and Augus's old beds.
What about Monsieur and Ardriel?
Tragic. Imagine building a house for like 16 people and like 70% of people just leave.
Lamau.
Isn't that how apartments were first made?
I've got a good idea. Darius actually just as
no.
a secondary method. Hate, choose a bed on the other side. Sternhoff, choose a bed on the other side. We should take all of these beds that we don't need anymore and give them to the refugees.
Are you implying? Wait. More importantly, did you say give?
I am not going to extort refugees. I have
That's
some
easy. That taste.
level of respect.
Hate
If they
is
want to keep the
actually
beds
what-
after they are no longer refugees, then we can talk about payment. But while they are refugees,
Hate is genuinely trying to debate if Darius has been replaced with a doppelganger right now, and just decides it doesn't matter.
She doesn't really care. Schönhoff and I losing our entire rooms all by ourselves. Just
We
the
can
two of us.
repurpose the side of the house that's that has no purpose other than 2 beds.
Living room.
I take this one. Now Schönhoff has to decide who does he double up with.
Some of them decided to double up.
That's fine. Strunov is just getting stuff.
Oh man. Did Darius expect Hate to move her stuff from over there? Oh. That was a step too far.
Darius is just going to clasp his hands together. Hate. Your things.
Hey, I can help if you need.
No. Hate can do it on her own.
She's genuinely trying to figure out how could she get out of having to do this physically and just use spells. But then she realized all of her spells for this involve summoning creatures, and she swore that off.
For how much longer?
She only had to swear off summoning off that specific group for 3 days, but she's just not re-prepared any of her summon spells recently.
Oh, I see.
As she walks up, Darius is just going to put his hands together and give a big coy smile. You always tout off about being strong, independent, and not needing to bow to anyone's will. So why don't you move your own things?
Hate looks at her backpack that has all the stuff she actually needs, and Greg being on her person, and she's just like, you know what? I'm donating it, and then goes back to her to sit on the bed.
What even is in...
Exactly the answer I was looking for. Looks like we've got new stock. And he moves to look at what's in the chest.
Rifter begins stealing Hate stuff.
Lork isn't stealing it, but he's wondering what the fuck did Hate just leave behind?
Well, hey.
Oh, it's going to be a very stuffed book full of like old manuscripts, like things that were like she brought this with her. She left a bunch of her like notes of places that she went to in the past, not because she doesn't need them anymore, but because she's already copied them over into pristine paper. Pristine. There's also probably, like old travel clothes that she doesn't keep for herself anymore because she just wears her current stuff.
Rifter is going to steal one of her big shirts because now he can wear that as pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Rifter's really out here just stealing the hoodie.
Yeah, I am stealing her hoodie.
How the
legally make you her
turntable?
boyfriend though?
I mean, I guess we're in a poly relationship then.
I think that makes him legally her girlfriend, but I don't know the exact logistics.
Right. If you have that makes her legally his girlfriend, but not him legally her boyfriend. Right.
Yeah, I steal one of her big old shirts, and I realizing now that I really didn't have to double up. Decius and August are apparently both fucking dead, so yeah, I'm stealing their bed.
No,
you're not.
No, you're not.
Why do you think I'm over here now? If we could keep beds over there, I'd have been fine.
We're clearing
Rifter,
out this side of the house to repurpose.
You are staying on this side of the house and getting hotboxed by Arabella, and you are going to like it.
Speaking of, Arabella has not moved in the last couple days.
Is that a problem? Does Hate notice this?
See if she's still alive.
Why? Wait, we're repurposing it for...
Alright. I know she's been here and she was useful for a while, but she's just been in the house for the past couple of months, not doing anything. At what point do we just kick her out? She's a druid, right? She lives in the wilderness.
I get high with Arabella and I tell her, bro, you need to move out.
You go over to her and you look at her, and she's laying down sideways with the mushrooms around her.
Oh my god, she fucking died of overdose, didn't she?
I'm gonna poke her. Is she alive?
Nope.
Oh my fucking god!
Hold on. This is important. So, when I cast Speak with Dead on her,
Mhm.
Darius, sensing commotion, is going to just kind of peek his head over. What's up?
Hey, I hear you casting. Is everything alright there?
What's going on?
possibly, after I cast, does she come? Does her soul actually? Does the semblance of life and intelligence show up in the corpse?
Ever so slightly, but most noticeably, she struggles to open her mouth, and you see as there are literally mushrooms growing inside of her body as she moves.
All right.
You know, translation, she's been dead for well over 2 months, and you guys just haven't noticed.
So,
She's been
are
this
you
well preserved?
okay with the whole being dead thing? Shake your head, yes or no.
She doesn't shake her head.
Darius is just going to walk past, put his hand out, and just start cremating the mushrooms in her body immediately.
She just shrugs. Ooh.
Thank you, Darius.
This
How
needs-
in the hells did... How did she even manage this?
Oh, wait, he stops, he pulls his hand off. If you don't mind, Rifter, her pockets and purse. It might be a little hot. You might want to give it a couple moments.
So, I don't know what to do here. This is the first time I've run into a corpse that doesn't even have an opinion on the fact that it's dead. So,
I'm still amazed by the fact that someone with an affinity for nature... How in the hells did she do that?
I'm going to stop you right there. I have an affinity for war, and if I don't die being stabbed, that's probably a cruel trick that the gods have played on me.
She's
Yes,
druid.
but you would think that she would... The wrong mushrooms,
To be fair, she is druidic. Her death probably isn't much different from her life.
Lol.
God.
No.
Lork is kind of blue-screened here just from the sheer absurdity of the situation.
Rifter, have
looked
you
at-
finished? Have you finished with her pockets and purse?
Rifter has not taken anything from her. He merely picks up Arabella with a very gentle delicacy, and he walks outside with her.
Hate will
Drugs.
cancel the speak with dead spell at some point instead of just leaving the body partially animate. She's just like, okay, I'll let that drop.
Darius is going to use his holy flames to scrub the area clean of fungal.
It
Fungal
takes
spores.
quite a bit of time. It is rather entrenched, including underneath some of the tiling there.
Gods above.
And have Sloric get the hard to reach places.
You see a couple mushrooms in the floating around inside Sork for a bit, slowly dissolving, but eventually it gets to a state that you would consider clean enough.
Be careful, Sorok. Some of these are going to be really hot.
It just occurred to me that we hosted children over, and we just had a corpse laying down in the side of our...
If we didn't know, then neither did they.
I hope they didn't No,
To be fair,
I'm
she's
sorry. I'm
acting
still
like a
trying to
corpse
process
before
this.
she was-
So anyway, complete tangent. Who is this again?
Someone that
Rifter's
ripped
friend.
him.
Oh.
You see Lore kind of mouthing, "What the hell?" as he's still trying to process this shit.
It kind of whispers, I'm pretty sure that she was dead for long enough that I couldn't even bring her back. This wasn't a fresh corpse, it was just preserved.
How in the hell was she that preserved? I'm sorry for my morbid curiosity here, but
Wait,
this
are there
defies all logic.
Are there any of the mushrooms still? Did you get rid of all of them?
There's the ones
It's
on her
prob-
body, but you'll have to speak with Rifter about that.
Rift is probably about to go bury her, isn't he?
Yes,
Probably.
and it's probably taking it a lot harder than we are, considering our lack of not experience, but lack of attachment too.
I'd like
Although-
to point out that we are probably going to have a very large fungal infection in this region.
That's why I wanted to cremate the body, but I didn't want to take it away from from Rifter.
What's his
From
face?
what this
I'm pretty sure that's also a valid term for him, because, you know, he has so many faces.
Ooh.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did somebody call specifically me to talk to me,
No.
or?
No,
Not
we're
yet.
talking about you, not to you. Jeez.
Yeah, we're shit-talking you.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to
You really think you're that important, huh?
Yeah, dude.
So-
But no, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'd suggest that when the mushrooms grow, we examine them for any properties that might make them special. Also, I'm very worried that it's going to animate her as some sort of undead. I mean, it didn't happen over the past 2 months, or past few months, but like, you saw the state she was in.
Oh, well, if only we had some sort of rite we might perform to stop people from becoming undead.
That only works for certain. Well, the ones I know only work for certain kinds of undeath. If this was some sort of natural hijacking of the processes of the body through spores, it wouldn't necessarily work the same way.
Okay, I understand your concern, but we are 4 extremely proficient fighters. Multiple, if not all of which, have access to either radiant or electric or fire magic.
Or slime.
He points at them with like a single finger gun and an eyebrow raised, or a slime.
It's clear that your kind did not grow up with the tales of the mushroom warriors. Hey, just walks away, shaking her head.
Tis tragic.
Jake, you're the only sensible one here. And she just sits.
He just shakes his head a bit and continues reading a book he's reading.
Alright then. This was certainly strange and disturbing, but I think it's behind us now. I'm going to go see if I can help Rifter expedite the process and make sure that he doesn't get too horrible of an infection from handling that body.
I still think we should purge it, but
I'll perform some rites over it later with his approval.
I can perform some rites if we get the necessary materials and I have a chance to to memorize that spell. Let me just go see what I can do to help him. Schroenhoff, can you have Slork at the ready in case something goes wrong?
Sure thing.
Thank you. Rifter, do you need a hand?
Rifter just kind of silently keeps digging. He's just putting stuff away. And he just looks at you and he just gently nods. And he just keeps digging.
Sure, I'll help.
I don't know when exactly this fits into the timeline, but when eventually we do finish burying her, Rifter is going to pull out one last blunt he got with her, and he's going to smoke it right before they leave.
Fancy.
I didn't know her very well, obviously, but I am sorry you're having to deal with this loss.
She was good. Good to me. Better than most people. I think she died the way she lived. I mean, that's obvious, but I think she was content. And that's more than most of us get.
I'm just sorry we didn't notice earlier and weren't able to well, properly attend to her in the meantime.
Yeah. Rifter walks on his own, but he does actually look at Lorik halfway through because he wants to actually walk alongside him, but he doesn't say anything.
As he's walking with Rifter, Lorik is going to give him a pat on the back, both as a method of reassurance and ideally a sneaky way to use lay on hands to cure disease in case he got some kind of horrible fungal infection.
No.
Optimal!
Would you mind giving me an insight, Mr. Rifter?
Sure.
Can I roll deception on that?
You may roll sleight of hand.
I would really rather roll deception.
Too bad.
Oh, I don't have advantage on that, but it's a 23.
23? Gonna be
Okay,
tough to beat.
my character sheet on there isn't loading, so I am just going to use this because it's the exact same. Oh shit.
Get scotted.
Rifter knows.
You have no clue, Kappa.
Does Rifter take any umbrage to the fact that I tried to clear whatever horrible fungal disease he probably got from Arabella?
He has no reaction outside of what he is already doing. He's patting you on the back, and he's basically, if he had the muscle mass to trying to pull you close, but his weak little baby arms can't really move you, but he is just holding on to you tight, like stay close to me, please. I love you, Dad.
Lorik does stay close. He is a merciful dad. Alright, let's get cleaned up, and then we can get on our way.
And then we can just fast forward to we are in the house.
Or in-house, I see. He's good.
He's good, yes.
Anything that remains of her stuff, I'm either going to burn if it's drugs or dispose of it in a responsible manner. And any gold, any sort of valuable possessions that would be useful to me and or the party, I'm going to either distribute where appropriate or just take.
As you do.
Gold?
Gold. Bombs.
Bombs?
Are you asking for a specific number that you find?
I think Grifter probably was. Evan, you there?
I'm
Is
sorry, I
anyone
didn't hear.
there?
I did not hear the initial question.
I believe it would be a question looking for an answer. You probably did not find basically anything on her body when it comes to wealth.
Oh, okay.
She had some like basic supplies, like some traveling kits, a couple torches, and notably to hate, 2 pieces of paper that survived out of the 5 that she had, but otherwise not much.
Okay. I'll just take the torches and general equipment. I'll keep the paper, and just announce that it's there and put it on like a table or something, just in the general vicinity of everyone. And yeah, I just nab her shit.
New Arabella level 20. Death. Channel for 2 months to instantly die. Thanks, Deathmosh. And ironically, could you imagine if Deathmosh also gave you the ability to just instantly die as like a 2 key
Safe.
or a 1 key?
Anyways,
It sounds like in some situations it could be broken.
Double mosh. Anyway, yes. Well, are we all cleaned up and ready to go?
I think so.
Grifter, you alright?
Reefter.
Grifter has died of a fungal infection.
Reeftar, see 2.
I'm sorry. I walked away for a second.
No, you're dead of a fungal infection. Shut up.
Oh, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. What, weren't you listening?
I guess too well. I assumed that because you were saying that meant I missed some vital information.
Lork was basically just asking if you're okay.
Oh, Rifter just looks up at you. He nods. He just kind of pulls like his blanket over himself and like turns in the opposite direction. He just wants to sleep.
Grifter, we still have to get going. We have things we have to take care of today. It's before noon.
Fine. And he gets up and he
I'm
follows Lorg.
The rest of the party?
Darius walks up to him and says, I understand your pain, friend, and there will be time to mourn. I'm not asking you to get over it. I'm not asking you to forget, but for now, we need to move forward. And remember, we are all here more than just companions. I do believe we are approaching family. If you want to speak to us, you can.
Aye.
Rifter looks significantly better at hearing Darius say that, and he says, "Thanks, Mike."
Of course. Then regardless, alright, sorry. Not regardless. Then anyways, let's get ourselves a move on.
Oh, let's do some stealing and some killing.
Ah, that's the Rifter I know.
I would like to offer a suggestion.
Then suggest.
Then perish.
Then
Might I
Parallel.
have
I'm sorry.
2 gold pieces and another gold piece so that I can go purchase the materials to cast a short divination?
If I were to
Just-
give you gold, you would have to put it in the mouth of a corpse. What do you want purchased?
Fair point. Incense and some offerings. Really, any offerings will do. The
Alright.
You may do so for about an appropriate price.
It was like
It's only-
gold worth of materials,
it's
right?
2.5 gold worth of materials.
All
For a
right.
ceremony or a different spell?
Divination.
Oh, divination,
Literally
okay.
divination.
Divination, the 4th level divination spell.
Yeah.
Imagine you just had a spell that was like evocation. Evocate a bitch.
I do be evocating.
Wow, is divination the only one where it's where one of the spells in the school is literally just the name of the school?
I think so.
I'd be surprised if necromancy didn't have one, but I guess I'm surprised.
Necromancy does not have a spell just named Necromancy.
It should.
Same with... Yeah.
Depending on how
Divination
you
is
stretch it,
literally
you
the
could
only
say, like, is there a greater illusion or not?
I would argue that it has to be just the name.
Hmm.
Divination is pretty fanciful. Wait, okay, so what is our goal
We're heading
for
on.
Yep.
I mean, what's our goal for going there?
See if this next floor looks productive. Otherwise, if it doesn't, head to Chibalo to see if we can learn any more about the conspiracy with Seiron.
Alright,
What
cool.
conspiracies are we cooking on the menu today?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
I'm going to cast the divination to ask if we will enjoy what we find on the next floor.
Don't ask it like that. We never enjoy what we find on a dungeon floor.
Hey, we enjoyed the collector eventually.
Did we, though?
I enjoyed the collector.
He
You
is
also
just a
want to
dead
kill him.
robot.
Would you mind
Okay.
pressing the button for the spell?
I'm still trying to figure out the exact wording of the question. Here you go. This is what I have to ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. And then you give me a truthful reply. You don't have to give it to me in any way, shape, or form that I can understand. It just has to be truthful.
There's a rustling in the wind. Wow. Okay. Really taking this whole having to divinate shit to the new level. So your specific
Yeah.
wording was?
Alright, guys. Alright. So, are we going to eventually go to Chubala instead of finishing whatever the new floor is? That's going to be my question.
You know what? I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
What mechanism is Hate using to cast this?
Alright. Wonderful.
Oh no,
wonderful.
hide the paper!
This is the
No,
follow-up
no.
question of, hey Darius, what random offerings did you purchase for me to be able to do this?
Whatever was closest.
Are you telling me that this is now looped back around to asking JC what offerings were closest?
One of my characters in a previous campaign got to use essentially a portable like game board as their divination kit. And so like it was like a game of karmic life with like the woes and wheels like physically like built into being game systems.
A Weggy board?
Oh. Can you get a pregnant from a Luigi bird?
Alright, you know what?
So,
I'm gonna get all the proper offerings, right? Whatever it is, it's probably like some sort of meat or some shit and some incense.
mhm.
And Hate's going to cast it by literally just juggling knives and chucking it at them and
Alright.
see what happens.
So, your question is, will you eventually end up in Shibalo over the next 7 days? As you
Yes.
toss, the knife pins it to the wall and the meat begins to grow moldy.
Fuck!
Alright, guys, we're going to Chibalo.
What the fuck?
I was saving us some time.
How were you able to determine a response from the meat growing moldy like that?
Oh, I didn't for this one. I was just using this for the next time I do divination. I was just going to say that we go to Chubalo so that I know the next time I use this exact method that moldy meat means yes.
Alright then. Lorik turns the dial to Chibalo. Is everyone ready?
Let me swap us over.
I like the idea that we've transported the dungeon door to our door, so if you turn the dial, our own door just opens and we go directly into the dungeon.
Wait, holy shit, where is the party? Ah, there they are. They're down in the, down by the church. Except for Hate. Hate.
Where be I? I be somewhere.
Where be she? She might be
No,
nowhere.
Oh, I'm in the top. Nope, I'm here. There we go.
Oh,
Found it.
she's a traveler.
Oh my god, Hate is a square. What the fuck?
I know, right?
Wow, the olden times.
Oh my fucking god. God, it's been that long since we've been in town.
Yes.
Jesus fuck.
Be there or be square.
Hey,
Be
all I
square.
can say is the rest of you guys, y'all ain't like me. I got that NPC energy.
Hello, adventurer.
Hello, adventure.
And come back when you're richer.
Backwards a long jump.
Not gonna lie, I didn't realize what you meant by square at first. I thought you meant like she was like a fucking like square woman. I'm like, that's the same goddamn like profile picture. What are you talking about?
Top of the morning to you. And that's totally Urgot's voice. Morning.
Hello, Urgoth.
Nice day for fishing, isn't
Fuck. No.
it?
Undo. Delete.
Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Stay safe.
We will.
Rifter hits him back right as we leave. Stay safe. Right back at him.
He rolls his eyes a bit and gives you a bit of a smirk.
Have I seen him at my militia meeting sermons?
Yes.
I smile at him and I give him a salute.
If everyone would swap back over to regular Au Hectorum.
Is everyone ready for this? It's definitely been a while since the last time we were down here.
We're just going to murder some things that get into our. Wait, no, we're going to Chibalo. You know,
Right.
technically the divination is still correct if we go see what the new floor is and then we go to Chibalo.
That's a good point. Alright, who wants to immediately go to Chibalo and who wants to go to the new floor first?
Hey, may I remind you of something?
You absolutely may.
And this feels like it's the kind of thing that's too much of an oversight given how much it took up of your character's time, even though it took up very little of our player's time. The floor, quote unquote, that you guys went to for Chibalo is a very far ways away from Chibalo itself. If you recall.
Interesting.
But
So,
did the party relay the info that the elevator came to them when they were on their way back?
Rifter votes that we go down to the new floor, by the way.
Okay.
this is an interesting thing because I think what's implied is if my bullshitting of the omen is correct, we actually need to go like almost immediately and get there so that we are there within 7 days.
But my question was, would the party have relayed the info that the elevator literally came to them for the first time ever? Because that seems like a pretty massive detail.
Nah. The key card goes on.
New floor, right?
Yeah, let's do it. New floor.
No.
We either don't
Alright,
go
then.
to Chubala and then we know that moldy means no, or we go and we know moldy means yes.
Alright then. Let's see where this takes us.
You put the key card in, it pulls it in a little bit, begins to lock it in place, and the door to the outside world begins to close, gently obscuring your view, gradually and gradually, until none of the stone outside your small little sandstone box is visible.
Been a while.
The
Man, isn't it
pulsing...
going to be great once this like hits off the track and we get sent to one of those weird floors again?
Well, that's why we need to go back to floors that we've already been to.
I'll just uninstall Au Hectorum.
You fool. Au Hectorum will uninstall you.
Are we all in our, Rifter is not in town. Or in regular.
Rifter, get the fuck back in here.
Tell him out. Call him in.
I just realized I was on mute. I was saying, dude, I my thing swapped to town for some fucking reason. Grr.
Alright, get in here, you fake
don't
knife
care.
here.
I am in here.
How does it feel to be a fake main character?
Like a fake main character.
True.
Yeah.
Big true.
By the way, I now want to see Gateboy. Urgoth, I think is how I would pronounce it.
Urgoth, yes.
Okay, cool. Glad I'm able to
You
keep
pronounce
track of
words.
shit. Yeah. I now want to see him fucking deck people. I didn't realize how much I needed this in my life. Why
You're just
would you
turned
do
on by
this to me?
Goliath being strong.
Dude, Goliath strong, true, but
Goliath
also
strong.
Zara strong. Wait, we need to get Zaro on the fucking
Zaro
list.
versus Urgoth. Zaro versus Urgoth.
Yo, wait, we do need to go find Zaro. He would be an entire military
This just in,
squad
Zaro
commander.
has found himself a local blacksmith named Uraham.
I see what you did there.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm sorry for my derailing.
Vroom. Vroom.
Terrific.
Vroom. And instantly there's like a jolt and a lurch as the party kind of swings around a little bit inside the presence of their little sandstone box.
I apologize.
God damn it. This had better not be that again.
Let's see. Hate is very eagerly standing in front of the door. Reminders, the hell floor was the first floor that she actually explored with you guys.
Hate, if this is anything like that floor again, I think you can safely say that all of us do not wish to die this day. So please consider that automatic consent for that.
Fair point.
There is a sound that's almost like rustling wind and leaves outside.
Can we get this door open?
Do we want to get this door open?
Yes.
Well, it's either that or we waste away inside this box forever.
Don't worry, we won't waste away forever. Slork will eat us before that.
There's a
comforting thought.
There's a very non-biological, almost mechanical groaning and like scraping of metal outside for a brief moment.
Is the door responsive to our desires?
Alright,
for it to
Lork,
open?
Hate.
You
I would
grab
like
the side
each of
wall.
you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, fuck. Luckily,
Oh.
I'm inside Darius's aura.
Sorry, that gets a +6 for being inside of the Sorry, is that a 6 or is it a 5? It's +5 for being inside of the beautiful aura of Darius of protection.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Thank you for
Got a
saving
total
me,
of a
Darius.
13. It's gonna be
Alright.
great.
Hate, you take 27 bludgeoning damage. Lork, you take 13.
Speaking of, has enough time passed that like decrease to our max health is gone?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yes.
Many
Alright,
days.
Easily.
I like completely forgot about the fact that I probably should have asked about that at some point. You
Absolutely.
said 20 something?
27.
27.
As
That's
just
not
this
much.
giant slab of metal crashes through into the top, breaking straight through the sandstone ceiling.
That's yes.
As you look at it, it maintains its shape completely uniformly, and it just goes straight up into the sky a good, 30 feet. There's slight cracks emanating through, showing almost a, gray, ever so slightly blue sky above. Just clouds and clouds of light gray mist.
What in the hell's is going on here?
Is this fixable? Are we gonna have to wait for the dungeon to fix this?
I don't
You
think
begin
there will
to
be
hear
any
a little
waiting.
bit of a buzzing, and the door starts attempting to lift up a little bit.
Hey, you grab the right side. I'll grab the left side. Come on.
On it. Hey, it's going to, heft Greg and then start lifting.
Is there anything we need to roll for trying to help the door along, or?
As you go in to attempt to lift it up, it ends up lifting up far easier than you would have expected. At least right now, given your previous attempts, as on the other side, lifting up the door is this fleshy amalgamation that does not move even after the door has been lifted open. More importantly, however, as you lift it up, in front of you there is this great worm-like creature with another very similar slab of metal to what has just crashed through the top of your structure.
Nah. You said more importantly, but I'm asking who's this.
There is a clay almost statue that turns and looks at you and says, "I trust I have your attention."
No.
And with that, I think we'll call it a session if you guys are okay with that, because I'm getting very
What?
tired and I feel like that's a good cliffhanger, and I need to
Wait, hold
perform
on.
this properly.
Are we calling it with hate saying no after it says that it has our attention? Or are we calling it right before that so that I can change my response?
Say no, and then Roundabout starts playing.
Man, bro, shit's crazy.
I trust I have your attention? No.
We can go ahead and try to force some shit right now, but
No,
honestly, it's
no.
better
No.
for quality given importance.
Yeah.
I feel like the session was kind of barren though, because we kind of
Did nothing, yeah.
We rushed through everything.
I don't disagree, but sadly, at least in my current state, I am very brain dead. Yeah, sorry.
We have had multiple people saying both this session and last session that we want to stop doing the outside shit and get back to the dungeon. And we can continue to keep fuffing around with that if we want.
I mean, I get wanting to go back to the dungeon, but it feels like we didn't actually get to save or anything because we rushed through it. Because there was so much desire to get back to the dungeon, but very little of the groundwork had actually been done previously.
I'm sure we can talk about that in a minute. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you
Anyway,
everyone
sorry
for
about that.
showing up to the stream.
Thank you all.
We might be having some mini sessions next Friday, but otherwise we'll likely end up seeing everyone here fantastic in 2 more weeks.
Everyone place your bets of if this thing is hostile or not. Probably did just kill that worm and then was like, hey, who the fuck are these people who showed up?
$10 says this is the same place as a hell floor.
Wow.
Who would have expected?
I don't think you understand how happy Hate is right now.
To be back at the hell floor.
The rest of you all have traumatic memories of this place. Hate's like,
Oh, no.
man, that was so fun. Let's do it again.
Please let the last thing before it cuts to black be, well, I guess moldy meat means no.
Yeah, that seems about right.
We're gonna go back there in 7 days? Turns out. We're about to spend 7 days fighting in the hell floor.
All I'm imagining is that as it like fades into its JoJo fucking like screenshot is just Rifter looking at her with big ass wides like what? Like why would you do that?
Lord be quoting temperance with malicious intent.
Do I have your attention? No. Everybody else looks at Hay like, what the fuck did you just do?
Did you just nuke us? Like
Thank you everyone for showing up. We'll catch you around.